Sheikh.
Walaikum salam.
Hazrat, could you just elaborate more on the breathing, how in Zikr we can use the breathing for a Zikr?
Right. Actually, in the zikr, the most important thing is the presence of Allah, not the breathing. It is that you should be present with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah is with me, He is hearing me, and He is seeing me. The breathing type which you have mentioned about dhikr is called passe in fas. And fas means actually the breaths, and pass meaning actually the breathing, the act of breathing. So what some of the spiritual masters have done to make it easy for us, they have said that a person is breathing always. He is asleep or awake, he is breathing. You can't live without breathing. So they say anyway, everyone is breathing anyway. They're working, they're sleeping, they're walking, they are talking, they're still breathing. It's like a conveyor belt. You see, like conveyor belt actually goes from in a factory or somewhere, it's going, but it's going empty. So they've thought that this train or conveyor belt is going empty and it's waste of energy. Why not use it? So let's transport some things on it. Let's put this bottle on it so that it can reach the other part of the world. Because it's a big conveyor belt, but about this conveyor belt, the thing is it's empty, there's nothing on it. So the energy is going to waste. So why not use it? So the mashayikh and the spiritual masters, they mention that the breathing is like a conveyor belt, but at the moment it's empty. There is nothing on it. It's complete waste of energy, except actually the person is breathing. So they've said that if we put zikr on this conveyor belt, then automatically we don't have to even put any effort. Our zikr is going to continue. So they said if we can train our breaths to do zikr, then even if we do not need to think, then it's as though when we will be sleeping, when we are awake, we will be doing dhikr. But for that you need a practice for 40 days, practice. And how is that practice? That if you, for 10 minutes, every day, now you can try that as well if you want to utilize your breath. For example, there are two breaths. Breathing in, normally you breathe in through the nose. That's what you should, because actually there are filters. There are filters in the nose which actually filter out the harmful material, and only clean, fresh air actually goes. But unfortunately, we do not know how to breathe. We are breathing in through the mouth sometimes. So this means actually, and when you breathe out, you don't want the dirt to stay in. So you don't breathe out through the nose, because there is a filter system there. So you breathe out through the mouth so that the dirt or whatever harmful material goes out. So breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. That's how it should be. So what you do is what the Mashayikh have said, that if you want your breathing turn into zikr, you have to practice. What do you have to practice for 40 days? What you do is, when you breathe in, like this for example, imagine you are saying Allah, Allah, and when you breathe out, you are saying Who. So this, you don't say it with the tongue, it's with the mind and breath. So you don't have to breathe long or anything, just normal breathing. But whenever you breathe in, tick your mind Allah. Whenever you breathe out, Who. So after 40 days, unconsciously the mind becomes trained with the breath and the mind become one. So even though you don't think, you are not putting any effort, it's as though the breath as it goes, it's saying Allah. When it goes out, it is saying Who. So that's called actually the breathing, the zikr, actually the breathing zikr. That easily a person can then actually spend his time in dhikr even without much effort. So that person heart and their breath actually is always doing dhikr. So even though sometime you can try this for yourself, do it for 40 days. After that, once you will go to sleep, and after sleep you will become awake and you will realize that you were doing dhikr because you have trained your breath now actually to do at a certain time. It is attached to it, because once you do anything with the mind more than 30 days, it becomes on autopilot. Like for example, now people who've learned driving, they don't need to think where to put the key, to move the steering, or to actually put the gears, or to press the clutch. Everything's happening automatically. How it's happening? Because the mind has been trained. That person took 30 lessons 30 years ago. He took 30 lessons of driving 30 years ago, and that's actually he's driving on autopilot. And he's like auto drive. So similarly, once you practice this zikr of breathing, then you are as though you are on auto, actually remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's called breathing dhikr, and some people, they practice and then they benefit from it. Jazakallah.